a few moments ago. He'd like to come on as well. I'm going to call him right now.
Okay.
What a show.
What a show we're having tonight. Jeff, how are you?
Dave, hey, Brian, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Did I miss anything today?
Oh, no.
You been in meetings, Mr. News?
No, I caught all of it. I've been on the phone, actually, all afternoon trying to sort this out from a Canadian perspective. Everyone here is, I mean, even at the syndicate end, who are the rights holders for WCW, I mean, I had people from their office calling me all day saying, what's going on? WCW, people in Atlanta said they're not going to call them until Monday at 12:15. They're reading about it on the Internet.
Yeah. Well, that's typical WCW, and all, I mean, I don't know if you've talked to WCW. I know I've not talked to any WCW wrestlers today, but I did yesterday talk to a few. You know that everything that they know is the stuff that's up on the Internet.
Well, they've been calling us for the last 2 weeks. What's going on? All they know is supposed to show up for a show on Monday. They haven't been told anything.
Well, whatever was going to go on, I don't even have any idea what they're going to do for a show because I got to think WWF's going to rewrite everything that was planned anyway.
I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, do you know if Scott Steiner's going to be there?
I have no idea. And now less of an idea than before.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
see, what I've heard...
We're pretty sure about Nash, though.
What?
Yeah, I don't think Nash is going to be there.
I don't think Nash is going to be there. I have no idea about Goldberg. Certainly no Hulk Hogan. I don't know that Eric Bischoff's going to be there. I would guess no.
I don't think there's going to be any of those guys there. No Sting. I think it's all going to be the guys that Vince wants. The Ric Flairs and the Booker T's. Those kind of guys.
Yeah. But now the thing is
I think guys should know, though, that if they're asked to be there, they better be there or they're burning a bridge.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see who shows up late. Let's see if anyone has enough guts to have a drink that afternoon at the bar.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Hey, the one thing about that is if this thing hadn't been announced like this, those guys would have all been loaded on TV. And now I think that,
and you know what?
Nobody could afford that now.
And guys would have gone into business for themselves in the ring with other wrestlers. I mean, that's
come on now.
I heard a couple. Just like Rick Steiner and Conan last week. I heard a few more names in the last week.
Oh, boy. The Rick Steiner hit squad.
Yeah, exactly.
Every week, Lash LaRue, Vito, Conan.
There were some agents this week, Dave, that were talking about hitting the ring.
Oh, yeah, Fit Finley.
That's right. Just furious.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did hear about that one.
Yeah.
We have now officially enough emails to last us until next year's WrestleMania. So anyway, we've got Tom Zink on the phone. We also have Jeff Merrick here of Live Audio Wrestling. Brian Alvarez, of course, of Figure 4 Weekly. Tom, what's going on?
My three favorite guys, Jeff Merrick, Dave Meltzer, and Brian. How are you, Brian? My God, Brian, if I had a grandson, I'd want one like that. You've really got a pulse on the business, my boy. I'm sure you saw this coming. That Busey deal, I think they're just some dirty, rotten scoundrels there with that Eric Bischoff. I never liked him. How are you, fellas? What are you guys doing? It's Friday night. What's going on?
What's going on, Ed? It's the end of wrestling as we know it.
Oh, my God. You don't want to wish too much what you want for. Vince finally got the ball. We got one target now, right?
Yeah, Vince got it. Vince got it after 19 years of wanting it. He's got it.
You got it. And now we got one wrestling company, right?
One significant wrestling company.
What do you think about it, Jeff?
The wrestlers lose, the fans lose. There's one style of product. That's it.
That's right. And
that's the other thing. It's going to be one. That's the other thing. It's going to be one style of product. It's not going to be like it's not like. It's not like WCW is going to be in there doing like a more this oriented or that oriented. I mean, they're going to be doing
disoriented.
This, not this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they already did a disoriented product for the last 2.5 years.
Who did you have on the other day? Was it Mike Mooneyham, some guy from the South?
Yes.
Okay. I was listening, and what Vince doesn't understand, I believe, is the Southern culture, how wrestling was in the Carolinas. Do you right? Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, but I think that they, I think that their feeling is that audience is gone and has been replaced by their audience, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
I mean, even he understands. I don't think he cares.
Oh.
I mean, sure he understands.
Because in the old days, when you were in the territorial days, every territory had its own style. I mean, when you wrestled in Oregon, it was a little bit different than wrestling for Vern.
Sure.
But the whole thing was when Vince came in, everybody ended up doing the Vince style. They didn't go to Portland and do a Portland style.
But what I'm saying is, couldn't you kind of build the card and not insult Flair and some of the people aren't and certain things, build them up and then just switch the card when you go above the Mason-Dixon line?
Well, as far as like, I don't know that they're planning on actually touring with the WCW. I think it's just producing a television show.
Oh, really?
And pay-per-views.
How long of a plan do you think they have for the plan?
Being that they just started formulating everything really yesterday, I think that everything's pretty vague. And as far as like long term, they got that idea that they're going to keep it separate for a year, then do the interpromotional. But a year could be 3 months, and a year could be 5 years. I mean, it's like the marketplace is going to determine how this really turns out.
We'll see how the numbers that WWF turn in after WrestleMania. I mean, if the WWF starts to dip, even lower on television, the temptation to do the interpromotional right away is going to be pretty strong.
Sure.
Yeah. I think they'll try and they'll just try and have guys switch back and forth first, see what that does, before actually going all out and doing a pay-per-view with WWF guys versus WCW guys.
Plus, I think a lot's going to depend on how they open on TNN with whatever time slot the WCW show gets. Because if they go in with, say, the WCW show, and they open with, let's say, a 1-7, or they open with a 3-0, I think the mentality will be altogether different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on, because if they open it at 1-7, they'll panic right away. If they open it at 3-0, they'll go, we got some leeway. We can do everything really slow, and we got it under control.
Wouldn't it be pretty clever, though, to have Vince, I think you said it, Dave, to have him go on WCW TV show up in Panama City, and, he could name Nash and, Scott Hall that walked out on him, or Paybacks. I mean, couldn't he be like the dark side of Vince McMahon, or be that rotten character that everyone
already
is? I mean, he's a natural at it.
Oh, he's the best.
Well, exactly. So put the devil in the suit. So put him on TV. And it's payback for the WCW guys that left him. Because everyone, Hogan, all those guys trashed him when they worked for, Deep Pockets Ted Turner. So they could really be ribbing on the square, so to speak, and really have some fun with this and run for 2 years.
But is that going to draw any money, though? I mean, at the end of the day, this has to make business sense.
Well, I know it too, but
it can satisfy Vince's ego to go out there and blast all those guys.
I mean, just
not going to draw anything.
For shock value. And then couldn't you blend it with the South, the different stars, and work interpromotional angles, kind of, and tweak it, so to speak? You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure eventually that's where it's going to end up.
Because they could really have a good run with this now.
Does this whole thing just scream Shane McMahon to you guys? Like, this whole thing is all about grooming Shane?
Ooh.
McMahon spot. This whole
good
thing
point.
says Shane McMahon to me.
Ooh.
Well, the thing, for over a year, I mean, there was talk at various times of them buying ECW when ECW actually meant something, or buying UFC when UFC meant something, and give it to Shane. Because, the whole idea is I think that they wanted to give Shane a company to run and to turn around, so people respect Shane as something other than, we saw this before, something other than just the son of Vince McMahon. Yeah. And then when the day comes for him to run WWF, he's got this track record of being successful in other businesses, rather than just Vince gave it to his kid, and what's his kid ever done other than been there with his dad, but done nothing on his own. So I think
maybe that Shane take out a big loan and tell him he couldn't miss a payment.
You sick. Oh, my God, Brian. Oh, Fabu, my boy. That was cute. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, yeah, but, look what we've seen at other wrestlers' sons, okay? The daddies had big boots to fill, and they couldn't measure up, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why he probably kind of needs to do something on his own.
I think we're talking about respect. The kid needs to get respect and, make his own
way. Yeah, because, with a lot of the wrestlers, that were, the sons of a promoter.
Yeah.
The only way they ever got respect in the business is by leaving their home territory and actually becoming stars where their dad didn't give them the break. If they always stayed in their home territory, even if they were stars because their dad made them stars, they never had that same respect.
That's right.
They've got to cut Shane McMahon's umbilical cord here. Absolutely. I think this whole thing is all about is cutting the umbilical cord for Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Make it on your own, kid. Sink or swim.
Yep.
And the best way to do it is throw them in off the deep end into the sharks, and there's sharks down there.
Yeah, but they can't let it fail either, though.
Yeah,
they can't. They
fail.
Huh?
Yeah, they can't let him fail.
No. No, they won't. No, they have their own policemen, don't they? Respect. They went out of control in WCW, but that was there from a long time ago. I think they just had deep pockets and they took advantage. Certain people manipulated and didn't do the right thing with certain guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, everybody was trying to protect their spots because they were all making more money than they'd ever made in their lives.
That's right.
And they just wanted it to go on forever. And in wrestling, the problem is that nothing is forever.
No.
And as soon as guys start manipulating things to be forever, staleness comes in and
all downhill.
Well,
yeah, Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't take long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think this is all going to become now? I mean, how many guys? What about the young guys in WCW?
I think they're all gonna. I think the young guys that work hard.
Yeah.
I think they're all going to get a chance.
Because the young
some of the
guys
smaller
don't like
ones,
blood.
it's going to be tough because they don't really like smaller guys. But
But if they're in a group with a whole bunch of smaller guys, they'll be okay.
Well,
If
you're
the
right.
majority
No,
of the contracts, if they've got 24 contracts and there's 22 little guys, they'll be fine.
Yeah, but you got to figure out the mentality. Are they willing to take that mentality that, okay, we'll make this, we'll make this kind of like the smaller guys promotion, but if they're all smaller guys, people won't think of it as a smaller guys promotion. Kind of like the whole thing of Rhino. Everybody thought of Rhino as a big guy, and now all of a sudden it's like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's, if you had Rhino in that other side, he could be a big monster at, whatever.